juniors, seniors heading towards the NFL in the future.
Is there a particular takeaway as far as there's a specific position that looks exceptionally strong this year? You mentioned Tech is a specific team that has a strong base of players, but is there a theme, I guess, or two that emerged from putting this list together?
Yeah, I think the linebacker and defensive back are going to be strong this year, for sure. Offensive line will be good again. We saw a really good class last year as well. Defensive line maybe not as strong as previous years as well. But I'll tell you, I know it's the cliche position to talk about, but every year we look at the quarterback class, and I think some people every year get too excited. Oh, this next year's class is going to be great. We hear that every single year. I think this year I'm still unsure who the clear-cut first overall pick will be. I think Arch Manning might stay in school one more year, so we'll kind of put him aside for a minute. But the depth of this class is remarkable. And shortly when we finish the Shrine Bowl 1000, which really finished about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago officially, we start to put together our big board and say, all right, who are the top 8, 12, 16 quarterbacks for the upcoming NFL draft class for the Shrine Bowl. And every year there's usually a cutoff, like, all right, there's these 3 or 4 guys, and then 7 or 8, and then we'll kind of see what happens. And this year, I mean, it's 17, 18, 19 deep of guys that could be one of the best 4 or 5 quarterbacks in this class. And I think the depth without having a clear-cut Caleb Williams or someone like that at the top of the draft makes this fascinating. It's going to be a really difficult task for us to do. So I think quarterback, again, maybe not the obvious slam dunk. He's going first overall no matter what this year. Quarterback is in it. But there's Cade Klubnik, and then you got Fernando Mendoza, Garrett Nussmeier, and then guys like Taylor Green at Arkansas who could emerge. I mean, Sawyer Robinson at Baylor's got a ton of talent. So you got a really wide range of quarterbacks that are really impressive this year.
Eric, I want to go back to this list. I mean, seriously, this is like incredibly in depth. How do you know who to? It's 1,000, so it's not 100. It's not 1,000, 1,200 or 1,250 or whatever. But honestly, how long does it take from the end of the draft or the end of last season to start working on this one? How many people are involved? How much film or whatever else do you watch?
Yeah, throw some numbers at you. We've got 12 people on staff, over 100 years of NFL scouting experience, plus a lot of great young scouts who will be NFL scouts for a long time as well. In our database, we have over 4,000 players graded, evaluated, written up. So more than 1,000. And the process of narrowing this list down to 1,000, I know 1,000 seems like a lot, but again, it includes redshirt sophomores, juniors, redshirt juniors, so on and so forth. It's difficult. And there's a lot of great players in the country. There are, I think, 66 guys from FCS D2 or D3 on here as well. Not just, big school guys as well too. So to watch the entire country, we got a great staff. Also, colleges every year are super helpful. We talk to well over 100 colleges between February and just a few weeks ago, from the director of player personnel and GM of those schools to a handful of head coaches I'll speak to as well, getting information from them on who's looked good in camp, what are their transfers going to be like, who's going to start. It's a lot of information gathering as well as scouting by our staff. And then NFL teams are our partners as well. There are many teams who are amply involved in what we do on a year-round basis, including this watch list as well. And what this watch list, I hope, will become 3 years ago, and I'm thankful that it kind of has, is that if you're a college football fan, this is a great way to get started for the year. Like, all right, who's going to be good? Who should I watch? Who are the guys I should care about? If you're an NFL draft fan, this is your starting base. This is your Bible to begin the year with and whittle down from there. But we've seen colleges, even NFL teams, tell me, hey, when's it coming out this year? I want to see what's on that list. We put in our database these guys, major guys list as well too. So it's a big achievement for us. It's a great honor that it's been so well received, not just in the media and by fans, but by NFL clubs and colleges alike too. And it's a huge passion of ours for 5 months to get this list down to 1,000 players and be accurate and right and have the best players in here.
When I scrolled down to Texas Tech, when you mentioned about their 24, between Texas A&M, and Texas Tech, there's my mouth, I'm spraying into my finger. But Texas actually has the least amount, but that just means that for a team like that they're a young team, because they had kind of a roster clean out last year when it came to guys going to the next level.
Yeah, I think if we included like true sophomores, they'd be up there with anybody. I think Texas is loaded for the future as well too. And again, Arch Manning not on there. We expect him to stay in school one more year, want to save that precious spot for somebody else. But yeah, don't make no mistake. Texas is more of an outlier in that they've got plenty of talent this year and they'll be competing as well too. But A&M loaded again. Texas Tech did a great job in the portal. And I think our social media team put a graphic up of kind of visually displaying where the teams that had the most players in the country. And it's the guys you think. It's Oregon's, it's Alabama's, it's LSU's, Ohio State's. And I think Texas Tech being in that group is pretty well well-to-do for them in a really tight group of the top schools in the country.
And for folks who go to the page, it's great that you can sort by conference, by position, by all that. I mean, man, that does a world of good to make this easier to follow along through and kind of get to the heart of it. And Eric, I mean, I think the Big 12's pretty well represented this year. I mean, a lot of the quarterbacks are getting play, obviously, but I mean, UCF and OSU maybe have a handful of guys, but it seems even in a league that's got 16, you should have a healthy number. But between Tech and Baylor and BYU and Arizona State, there's a lot of pro prospects. I don't know if this is higher than it's been in a while or per capita or whatever, but seems like the league's got a lot of talent this year.
No doubt. Almost 20% of the list is in the Big 12 alone, which is not nothing. And this includes FCS and small school guys as well, too. For the Big 12 to be that represented, I would imagine they're probably neck and neck with the SEC. I think a big part of that is schools like Cincinnati having a good number of NFL players, Houston doing a great job in the portal, Kansas State always does an incredible job, TCU's loaded, and then, of course, Texas Tech helps quite a bit. But I saw you guys at Big 12 Media Day, and it was a theme a year ago, and it stays a theme this year. The Big 12 top to bottom, especially the bottom, is the best conference in the country, in my opinion. It's hard to project where these teams are going to go. Obviously, Arizona State made that almost a meme a year ago with how they did, but it's impossible to figure out who's going to be the worst team because you might say, oh, it might be this team. They lost a lot of guys, but man, Mike Gundy's a heck of a coach, or Houston's doing this, but man, they got a lot of talent on offense out of the ball this year too. So the talent depth that the Big 12 has really makes them being high on this list not really a surprise.
Well, and this year, and this is not true. This is not true for every league every year, but the Big 12, like they only have like 3 or 4 teams that have legit quarterback questions going in. Colorado's confident enough in both their guys to send them both to media days. So I wouldn't even put them in that category of like, they don't know what they're going to do. That kind of tells me they're happy with whatever happens there. So that really puts the league maybe in a spot that it hasn't been in a very long time of, when you're talking about cross-conference, non-conference games or into the postseason, you're likely going to get a veteran quarterback who's pretty dang good going against you.
Yeah, and we saw it last year, right? The two teams at the end of the day were Will Howard, who played 3.5 starting seasons, and Ryan Leonard, who started 40 seasons in college, right? The experience is going to matter for a lot of these teams. And I think not only will Big 12 teams be battle-tested in season by all the great teams, but I think whichever 1, 2, maybe 3 of those teams go to the playoff, they'll be ready to go. And I think whether it's Avery Johnson at Kansas State, who started for a year and a half, and he's got a ton of talent, or it's Morton at Texas Tech, or Sawyer Robertson, or all the other guys we can mention, a lot of talent at quarterback. I think the Big 12 also, we thought for a long time it was the run and shoot. It was a lot of receivers, a lot of defense in the Big 12 nowadays. A lot of great defensive players. Iowa State's got a whole bunch. Texas Tech did a great job there. TCU has a bunch of guys on defense. It's a conference now that will still score a lot of points, but it's pretty well-rounded when it comes to NFL teams and how they view this conference.
So you've mentioned Bear Morton a couple of times now, and when the league's quarterbacks get brought up, it's Robertson, it's Levitt first, Avery Johnson, obviously, and then Rocco Becht, so on and so forth. But I do feel like, and I'm guilty of this at times, Bear Morton's there, and what kind of a profile do you think that he has? What kind of a opportunity do you think that he has this year, and what do you like about him as a player?
Yeah, I think, for one, I didn't mention Sam Levitt earlier, but Sam Levitt's a heck of a quarterback. I mean, saw him last season, saw him at Manning Passing Academy. He's got the tools to be a first overall pick level player, whether it's this year or next year. But I think Morton, Texas Tech kind of chose him over Tyler Shuck, who went early second round. And I was at those practices a year ago. When you're there, you're like, yeah, it's pretty close, but Morton does some things better than Tyler. And Tyler's a great quarterback and deserved to go early second round. But that's how talented Morton can be for this team, too. And the second piece is that he's got the arm talent. He's got the mobility. He's certainly got the experience. And now he's got the weapons. I mean, Texas Tech might have the most experienced and top to bottom best starting 5 offensive linemen in the country week 1 of the season. Now, we'll see if those guys can make up for or match that expectation. But all of their guys have either started at Texas Tech or elsewhere at a high level. And he's got multiple receivers that are talented. And he's got 2 or 3 tight ends who are pretty talented as well. And Joey McGuire knows what he's doing on offense. So I think for Morton, it's all ready for him. He's got the talent. He's got the tools now. And he's got the resource around him. I think if he can capitalize on it, we can talk one of the biggest risers in the draft process this year. And if not, it'll really be on him if he's not successful this year too. So I think Morton's got a good bit of pressure and a lot hangs on his shoulders for Texas Tech making good on all the talent they have this year.
Craig mentioned the link to the East-West Shrine game, the bowl, the top 1,000, and how you can go to either their classification or position or school or conference. 10 players out of Division II, 5 from Division III, 3 or 4 dozen FCS, and a bunch, of course, G5, and a whole bunch when it comes to the Power 4 or 5 conferences. Is this a list that changes at all, Eric, once you like a watch list, or is this thing, yeah, people are going to be added into it because they get better and you don't know much about them right now? Does it change much?
We won't change it on the website, but certainly internally, we're watching every play. Like I said, we've got 4,000 players written up. So there's players already not on this list that we're going to keep our eye on. And again, thousands a nice round number, but there's more than that we're really watching closely. But we've got to make decisions on who we're inviting in 11 weeks. As crazy as that sounds, to the East-West Shrine Bowl this year too. So it's on us to be really decisive. But last year, there were 6 or 7 players who were not on Shrine Bowl 1,000 that earned a Shrine Bowl invite. So every year, there's a couple of guys that, whether we miss as a scouting staff or really emerge from a place we didn't see it coming as well too, they get a chance to do that. So we'll be watching the entire country as well. We've got a great scouting team that's not just watching these guys, but everybody. But yeah, it's not many guys. Thankfully, we do a pretty good job in the preseason. But every year, right now, my phone blew up from agents or colleges. Oh, you missed our guy. What are you doing here? But we'll find those guys during the season for sure.
Just like they're like in they got a little star by him in this other list. Like, make sure we watch this one.
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, we've got the Shrine Bowl 4,000 if you wanted to as well. That feels a bit much too. But we've got all these guys too, and again, we've got area scouts that go by region or school too. So our area scouts probably have their own small 500, 600, 700 lists per area as well too. But we have debates every year. I mean, the last 2 weeks we were at about, I think we were stuck at like 1,100 or 1,150, and debating on who those last 150 guys would be to be cut out too. So it's a lot of talented players in the country. We do hopefully a good job of canvassing the entire country, and now knowing how many people rely on our list, we take a painstaking approach to it as well too. But we're excited about the 1,000 guys we have here as well, and we'll look to see who can kind of prove us wrong in season.
All right, so I don't know if I've ever asked you this question before. I know you went to University of Delaware, and then, of course, Villanova Law School as well. How did you get this passion to do this? Is this something that you, as a fan growing up, or how did this get in your blood?
Obviously, I was a fan growing up and loved watching football, and I really got a chance to work with a lot of great people early on in my career. And really, I started out, ironically, one of my first jobs was working at a much, much smaller college all-star game called the Dream Bowl, and helping a small all-star game with just Division II, Division III players kind of emerge as NFL draft prospects, which takes place weeks before the East-West Shrine Bowl. And then over my career was at the XFL and consulting with NFL teams and agencies and colleges, et cetera, too, and kind of grew from there too. But to kind of be back in the all-star game world, it's a great experience, because my career has largely been consulting on the team side and helping teams be successful. And in this job, I can really help players and give all this wisdom I've learned over my 15, 20 years of doing this to these players on navigating the draft process, the interview process, what matters and what doesn't. Really, my tweets are promoting a player to be drafted earlier, which is really an empowering thing as well too. So the culmination of my career working a lot on the team side and the league side to now helping players and the Shriners Children's Hospital, which is all this is for, is super rewarding for us.
Eric, of the players who are at near the top of your list, you said there could be, who knows about the quarterback position. Is there someone who's getting a lot of love that probably has earned it, but you're not so sure about, that you need to see another full season from them, or you're a little bit worried about someone getting overhyped?
The overhyped piece is always tough, because I don't engage on social media to know who's getting overhyped as well too. I will say that I think I'll stay with quarterback and maybe not name too many names if that's all right. But
sure,
I think there'll be a big difference from what people think the quarterback class is. And then I get a chance to talk with these colleges and players directly, NFL teams, what they actually are. And every year we kind of fall victim to, hey, the consensus thinks this guy, and the guy that's number 1 quarterback is way higher than number 2 quarterback, when in reality it's much, much closer. And I think it's a really strong quarterback class at the top. But I'll just say that talking with NFL teams, there is way less consensus on who quarterback 1, 2, 3 are than maybe any year I've done this in the last 4 or 5 years. I think they are widely different. You've got guys like Talon Green of Arkansas, who I never hear talked about, who's got plenty of talent.
Yep.
6'6", 240, can move. Sawyer Robertson, there are some NFL teams who love him and think he could be one of the better quarterbacks in this draft class. Obviously, Cade Klubnik and Garrett Nussmeier are talented. Sam Levitt's an underclassman as well, too. So I would say for any NFL scouts, out there, people that want to get in the scouting world as well too, have your own opinion, because I think we could be very surprised from what expectations are now where these quarterbacks get drafted in 7 months.
Do you ever get to just watch